evening. I'm Grace Brister. Alabama basketball faced LSU this afternoon in a sold-out Coleman Coliseum. So far, the Tide is undefeated in SEC play. Here we have Mark Sears scoping the court. He's looking to pass it, but instead he shoots it himself and gets a three for the Tide. Here we have Jaden Bradley. He passes it to Javon Quinterly, and he shoots another three for Alabama. Nick Pringle passes it across the court to Rylan Griffin, who knocks down another triple for Alabama. And just before the first half buzzer beater, Jaden Bradley puts it up with one hand from half court and banks it in for the buzzer beater. The Tide would go on to win 106-66 with a 31-point performance from Brandon Miller. And he says he couldn't do it without his team.
I feel like my teammates really, pushed me, pushed me to make shots that I did early. So I think without them, I wouldn't be me, really. I mean, with these two guys next to me, really, I feel like we did good on the offensive glass, which really we preached since the summer. So I think that's the thing that gets us going.
I think when you've got the kind of character and attitude that he has, like, good things come to you, and he's obviously a really talented kid. It was great to get him started with that first three, and he kind of had a barrage after that. I mean, if you look at his numbers, like he shot 16 shots and scored 31 points and really didn't get to the free throw line. He only went to the free throw line once. So, I mean, one of the more efficient nights I've ever seen as a player.
Alabama men's basketball announced that junior Darius Miles will be sidelined the rest of the season with an ankle injury. The injury took place during preseason camp, and since then, Miles has seen limited action on the court with ongoing rehab. He appeared in 6 games this season, and Miles has not seen the court since the Jackson State game on December 20th. Although he's out for the season, he's expected to make a full recovery. Alabama men's tennis was in action today with a doubleheader against Samford and Mercer to open the 2023 spring season. This is the 3rd consecutive season Alabama has opened the spring against Samford. The Tide closed out the Bulldogs 7-0 for the first win of the season. The Tide went on to defeat Mercer 6-1 to advance their record to 2-0. Up next, Alabama will face the UAB Blazers next Sunday, January 22nd at home. Today was senior day for Alabama swimming and diving. 11 seniors and 6 graduate students were honored on the final home competition of the season. The past 2 days, the Tide has hosted Texas and Ohio State at the Aquatic Center. The number 6 Alabama women fell to number 2 Texas 231.5 to 139.5, and number 5 Ohio State 220 to 133. The number 14 Alabama men fell to number 2 Texas 220.5 to 132.5, and number 13 Ohio State 230 to 123. The Tide will be back in action on Friday against the Auburn Tigers in a dual meet. And it's official, Ole Miss officially hired former Alabama defensive coordinator Pete Golding as the defensive coordinator for the Rebels. Ole Miss made the official decision just 1 day after it was announced that he was leaving Alabama. Golding spent 5 seasons with the Tide. And just after 1 season with the Crimson Tide, wide receiver Tyler Harrell has entered the transfer portal. He is the 14th Alabama player to enter the portal during or after the 2022 season. He appeared in 6 games this season with the Tide. The NFL playoffs kick off today with a wild card weekend. The 49ers ran over the Seahawks, defeating them 41-23 to win their 11th game in a row. Brock Purdy throws 3 touchdowns and ran one in himself. He finds Christian McCaffrey for the first touchdown of the game, and he's the first rookie to account for 4 touchdowns in a playoff game. They will move on and host the divisional round next week. For the AFC wildcard playoff, the Los Angeles Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars are playing right now, and the winner will advance. We'll find out who they play after this game, or after the games wrap up tomorrow. And that's going to do it for us tonight in sports, but stick around. WVUA 23 News at 10 will be right back.